Welcome, I'm Tim, and this is TimBatSea, and once again we find ourselves at the New Haven Sea Buoy. Well, actually, move this. There's the sea buoy right there. But we're turning in. You can see our track line here. I'm turning in New Haven 1 and 2. We'll be coming up here, coming through what we call the dog leg, and up to a terminal in New Haven Harbor. Oops, sorry about that. But anyway, that is something that we just did on the, I think, the last video. So you say, well, Tim, is this all you do? Well, to tell you the truth, I stepped on this boat, and I don't think I've been sick in years. Probably last year, a year ago when I was in Ecuador, a year and a half ago I was in Ecuador and got COVID there. But I stepped on the boat, and the captain had said that he had just gotten a cold, and sure enough, I picked it right up, probably touching the same controls. Anyway, I've been fighting that all you probably hear my voice is all kind of weird, but what has happened, and this just is one of these things that happens, a joke between the captain and me, because I'm working over on his boat, is he's like, man, you must have a connection with somebody in dispatch, because all the jobs keep coming up on his watch and they don't come up on my watch. And you know what, there's been a lot of jobs that were scheduled for my watch and then got canceled at the last minute. Just one of those things that happens. And so I haven't had a lot to film, and then when I did do work, it was at night, and the night videos never come out that much, especially when we're towing, the towing videos, because there's really nothing to see. So once again, a week later, after I showed you us taking over 2 million gallons of ethanol or moonshine into New Haven, we get to do it all over again. Normally I wouldn't shoot the same thing twice, but every time I say that I'm not going to do that, a bunch of you guys in the comments say, oh no, we like seeing it every time. So, okay, well, since I don't have a lot of content, I thought I was going to shoot a lot more content in New York the week that I was there, and that just didn't happen. And so I have this for you. The good news is, I'm still, and probably will continue to live way beyond my means, and because of that, Paquita is another story. She's getting a major refit, and all of that costs money. So while Paquita's on the hard this winter, I'll be working a lot, and I'm sure that I'll be working in New York Harbor for most of the time that I work off. So got a lot more New York content coming. You can see the green and the red buoys there. And remember, we're buoyage system B, so we keep the red on the right for when we return to port. And that's it. I'll turn the camera back on when we get a little closer. Okay, so we're coming up to New Haven 18 and 20 buoys here. I'm still moving right along, about 7.7 knots. And if you remember last time, the dock is at an angle and it was hard to get pushed over that way. So I'm going to try to take a stab at the dock and do a Hail Mary, where I kind of get aimed at the dock, get momentum that way, and then turn to the left real quick and hope that everything works out. So cross your fingers. We'll be doing that. Be slowing down shortly here. That first ATB, the articulated tug and barge there, that unit that's right there, we're going to the dock couple docks ahead of it. You can see a red and white crane. That's actually at one dock, and then if you come back this way, you'll see the cement structures. And let's see if I can point to it here. Right over there, I think. Anyway, that's where we're headed. So I start slowing down a little bit, taking some turns off. Now you see, I see a problem with my plan, and that's that I'm going to be coming in at too shallow of an angle. To do what I want, I'm going to come to the left a little bit, and then come hard over to the right when I get up to the dock, so I'm really making movement towards the dock. At least that's what my plan is going to be. See, just only because I had a little trouble with it last hitch. I mean, last video. It wasn't trouble, it was just I got over there. It just took forever to get the damn thing over there. Just mean, I was thinking about it, saying, how can I do this better? Well, maybe I can do this. But the whole thing, the problem with this is, I'm banking on the idea that one, I can stop the barge, and two, that I can pull the bow to the left while my momentum continues to the right. That's what I'm really hoping for. So that's why I'm coming left a little bit right now. So I'll come up like this and then turn this way and spin over that way towards the barge. Towards the dock, excuse me. Turns off. We're down to 6 knots right now. There's a noise that's driving me crazy up here. Not being on my boat, I'm not familiar with how everything works, and there seems to be the remnants of an old stereo system here, and the stereo is not on, but the speakers are giving all this almost white noise. It has some sort of interference coming through it. It's driving me crazy. I talked to the chief, and this is the first he had heard about it, so I'm not really sure what's going on. It'll be fine. Alright, so now we're down to 5.4 knots, and you can see the dock is more at an angle to us now, where it's over here. And so if I start headed over there, I'm going to start heading right now. I'm going to give it full right wheel, and we are basically in clutch right now. I just slowed it down to clutch, hard over to the right, and bow's starting to move over. My idea is so that I want to get momentum going this way towards the dock and get that way and snap the bow out. But if it works, it'll be wonderful. If it doesn't work, it could be catastrophic. So I wouldn't do this if the conditions weren't right. One of the things that new tugboaters always want to do is they always want to develop the next greatest thing. And most of the systems and the way we have of doing things have been developed over the last couple hundred years, and have really been refined down to the easiest and best or most safe ways of doing things. So when I try something different, I make sure that I have everything going my way. So right now the rudder's still hard over to the right. The bow is moving all the time. I'm going to bring the rudder amidship because the momentum's going to continue it to move. Going to continue the turn to the right. My rudder is midship, but we're still turning to the right all the time. In fact, I'm going to give it a little bit of left rudder right now to try to steady it up. That seems to be slowing it down a little bit. We are doing 4 knots. I don't want to take it out of gear because the rudders will be less effective as soon as I do that, because the rudders really, steering really relies on me having water going by the rudders. Okay, so now we're down to 3.7 knots. I've taken them both out of gear. I'm at an angle that I like. I put my rudder back to midship. We've got
me on here, Captain.
Yes, sir, Lima Charlie. So now what we're doing is we're making...
Hey, how you read me?
Loud and clear. So we're making tracks to the dock. Not really slowing down too much, but we'll get a little closer before I start backing down. And the other problem is that if I want to...
Just doing a radio check for the tankerman.
Yeah, I could hear him fine. Can you not hear me?
No, he can't hear you.
Okay. So the problem with me trying to back down all of a sudden is that I won't be able to steer at all. When I'm backing, it doesn't steer. I have to have water going, you know, and over the rudders, and when I'm backing, it's just the water that's being sucked into the port nozzles. Okay, so now I've got the rudder hard right. I still don't have any engine in gear. I'm doing 2.9 knots. I'm getting a little nervous, so I'm going to put my port engine. Oops. Okay, put my port engine. I had the 2 engines on sync. Good thing I remembered that. Sync means that they're synced up together, so now I can split the 2. So now I'm starting to back on my port engine, and I'm just trying to take some way off, and I want to get that bow swinging and keep the way, you know, I don't want to take all the way off, but unless I can't get the bow to swing. If I can get the bow to swing, I can keep the way on. Okay, now the bow is swinging. Now I've gone all stop, and I'm hoping that rotation is going to continue to happen. We're down to 2.3 knots ahead. My predictor line is going straight ahead, which is still closer to the dock.
Your bow's coming abreast of this first caisson right here.
Very good. My rudder is still hard over to port. I can see line handles coming up the dock right now.
You're about 50 feet off.
50 feet. Alright, so I got my port engine astern. I'm going to give it a good shot astern again. I'm going to give the starboard engine a head. I think that I'm running out of guts. If I had more guts, I'd get a lot closer to slam this thing in there, and I'm a little nervous about it, so I'm just going to let...
It's abreast of the little shack right here and approaching the manifolds.
Very good. So now I've got all stop again.
About 30 feet off.
Rudder still hard over to the left. And getting closer and closer.
Looks like you're going to be about 15 feet off of this third caisson right here around the other side of the manifolds.
Very good. Now he's saying I'm going to be 15 feet off of there, so I'm going to start going astern again because we're down to 1.8 knots. And I want to, by going astern on my port engine, that will lift the bow just a little bit.
You got about another 50 feet ahead before you hit that last caisson. Or you reach that last caisson.
Yeah, roger that. My new deckhand is figuring out there's some words we don't like to hear, like hit.
Alright, looks like you're about 8 feet off of that last caisson on your bow.
Okay, but we got a ways to go before we get up there, right?
You have another 25 feet for get coverage.
Okay, so now I'm leaving the rudder where it is, but I'm going to come ahead on my port engine and back on my starboard engine and basically walk the stern over. At least that's my plan. I want to start killing the headway and try to get the stern.
Starting to get coverage on this last caisson. Getting coverage now.
Alright, I'm getting the stern over, so you might notice that the bow is coming out, and that's okay. We'll bring it back.
Roger that.
So I'm giving a hard the engines are set up for a right-hand twist, but the rudder's set up to go to the left, and that's enabling we're not really going to walk a loaded barge over, but I might be able to squeeze the stern over by doing that. Okay, now I'm still sliding ahead. I'm doing 0.8 knots, so I've reduced my head engine, kept my back engine backing hard, and that's taking some of the bite out of it. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more, because if I don't come ahead, it won't push me to the dock. Remember, my backing engine won't get me to the dock. Only that port engine pushing against the wheels, trying to the rudder trying to push the bow out, will walk us over there, hopefully. So now
we got to back it down a good 40, 50 feet.
Okay, fine, just let me just get over there a little bit, and then we'll get over and I'll back it right up for you.
I figured that's what you was doing. That's why I didn't say anything. We was only here like 4 days ago.
All right, and I can lay right on that pad right ahead of you, right? That cement pad?
You still got clearance on that. I think we sit on that about 2 foot, 2.5 foot before it shapes over to the bow. So yeah, you can come on back.
All right, great. That's wonderful news. So it's times like this, it's just patience. You know, we want to do everything quick and fast, but we just got to remember that energy in versus energy out. So the energy we're putting into the barge, we had to take the energy out of the barge to get it to stop, and then to turn it, and now we're wiggling it over. That bow is continuing to come out, but the stern is shortening up ever so slightly. I'd really like it to shorten up a lot more, but beggars aren't choosers. You got to take what I can get. Okay, so I've got about 10 more feet back here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go all stop and start backing down. Now my bow is going to continue to roll out, and that might become an issue later on. It's not yet, but now I'm backing predominantly on my starboard engine. But I got both engines in gear, and I'm just trying to check up that swing. Now I'm going to come ahead with my port engine, because I'm getting too tight, and that bow is really taking off on me. So now I'm going to give her a good shot here, and that should keep us off the pad. We're down to about 2 or 3 feet off the pad in the stern. The bow, like you can see, the bow really took off on me, unfortunately. Okay, now we're all set there. Now I can back up a little bit more. And I think we've checked up the swing on the bow. And I want to back up a whole bunch so I can lift the stern off and put the bow in so you can catch a line. I'm looking behind myself in the back window here to make sure that I don't have a boom or anything that I'm going to run over. I'm watching the mast on the barge, and it looks like the bow is still falling off a little bit. So with a little bit of right wheel and left engine, port engine, I'm going to come ahead, try to start shave off some of that sternway and get the bow to start swinging over. Okay, now the bow is coming over. You can see we're black stacking, a little smoke coming by there. Going to ease up on the stern engine, and now it's starting to rotate over, which is good. All right, I'm bringing her over now. Do I have to keep coming back for your spot? I kind of want to go by your spot and drive up to it. Does that make sense?
Roger that, here.
All right. Okay, so now it's swinging pretty good. I really want to stop it, but once I stop the momentum, it's really hard to get it back. All right, so now I'm going to go all stop. We still have a little bit of sternway.
Hey, Josh, spring line where those guys are standing at, Captain.
Yes, sir. Here we go. So now I've got my rudder amidship. Now I'm going to give it just a little bit of right wheel, because I want to keep that swing going. I want to get that bow over there.
You're about 8 feet in closing.
All right, very good. All right, now I'm going to give it some left wheel, so to slow down that swing. And you can see this is pushing us all sideways right now, which is just what we want.
Now that forward caisson, that pad sticks out about 2 foot.
All right, we're moving over all the time, so we should be good on it, I think, right?
Just keep going like you're coming. You're about 2 foot off before you touch up on the smaller pad. You're about to touch up on the midship pad. You're about 1 foot off your bow.
All right. So now that
we're going to hit it slow.
all right, we want to put this line out right here, right?
What was that?
We want to put this line out right here, right?
Yeah, he's going to put it right here with his guys, right?
Okay. All right, putting the line out. Now I got to take some weight out of there.
Take it easy. It's a small line. It's not very thick.
Okay, I'm slowing it down right now. Hopefully you won't make it all the way off yet. Okay, now you can. Okay, so I'm just trying to stop.
Line's tight now.
Yeah, your line's made off, Cap. I'm just slipping a little bit because we got pretty good momentum. I don't want to park the line.
Excellent. Good job. Good job. I'm all stopped. We're just going to get flattened out, and I'll have you spot us into position. So now I'm going to give just about 10, maybe 15 degrees.
Cap, I can't hear you.
You're about 3 foot.
Slack, and it looks like we need to come ahead another 8 feet or so. I'll just slip you slowly with this line as we come ahead.
Okay, very good. I'm clutch ahead on 1. So now I've got my starboard engine clutched ahead on 1, and I actually, because the line is pulling us over, I've got my rudder hard over to port, to the left-hand side.
Okay, Cap, you can quit working on it and let it drift ahead now.
All right, and you let me know when you want some brakes on here, and I'll put some brakes on for you.
And that's it right there. Just hold that.
Oh, you're the man. Excellent. Good job. All right. So we'd be here at 1500, and it's 1500 right now for first line. Look like that. I don't know if any of the rest of you had grown up in a household like I did, but I had a Latin mother and a German father. And if you know anything about those two cultures, you'll know that just as my father, being the strict German, was a stickler about time, my mother was a Latin that was late for everything. And so I think it had instilled me from a very young age to be terrified of being late. I always try to be right on time. Anyway, that's about it. Hope it's not too boring. I know you saw it last time. I couldn't show you us going to the next dock because we did it while I was sleeping, and that's going to happen again tonight as well. But that's it from New York, and tomorrow I fly back to Puerto Rico, and then when we get back, when I get out of Puerto Rico, Crisalita and I will be going to Spain for a week with a bunch of friends, so that ought to be fun. And then we're off to the Annapolis Boat Show, and then we got to haul Paquita out of the water. So all kinds of fun things going on. Speaking of Paquita, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you please help me out. But you guys going over there and, you know, liking, subscribing, all that YouTube stuff really helps me out a lot. The Paquita channel is the one that I'm really hoping that I'm trying to develop. That's a different. If you're not into sailing, it doesn't really matter. I'm not a sailor. I'm a merchant mariner. I'm trying to learn this stuff. But anyway, hopefully there's a little something for everybody in there. And anyway, I'll put a link in the description for that. And if you got anything out of these videos, sure would love to have you consider becoming a patron. Or if you want to buy my crew a drink on the way home, you can hit the super thanks button, and on the way home when we're stuck in an airport, maybe we'll have a drink on you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe, take care, and I'll see you on the one.